What's up, current and future disc golf addicts? We're continuing our road trip through southeastern Washington, finding ourselves in Walla Walla, playing the Fort Walla Walla course there. Again, a new course for me, and so we can take a look at how I am tackling this course. Hole 1, we're looking at a big sky anhyzer, trying to drift it right. I'm throwing again what is my go-to distance roller wraith, not one that I'm very familiar throwing for air shots, and end up under committing to it and fading out early left with a very long par putt there. And tapping in that bogey start. A little bit unfortunate, seeing as though I do love those true pure distance lines. Hole 2, trying to throw my wraith. Touch of anhyzer, but frequently that anhyzer does come out too low for me, just throwing it into the ground. Trying to fix that mistake now on the upshot. I give it height, but still get over on it too much with an unclean release. Didn't fully realize how much of a drop off there was behind the basket, so I'm getting in trouble. Those limbs are perfectly blocking the basket, leaving myself with a short spike hyzer putt, hoping for the best. Hole 3, as far as what UDisc was showing and what we were seeing, was very different, where it looked like it needed to be a left to right max distance type of shot, but actually ended up being more of a hyzer shot, and that yellow in of a basket blending into that dry grass in the background. We couldn't fully see it off the tee. Hole 4, we're looking at a spike hyzer shot, basket in the center of this group of trees with a lot of limbs and branches in the way. Even though I wanted to try and make the putt somehow, realistically there was no feasible gap in front of me, and so I just end up having to pitch it under. Hole 5, trying to throw my defender again, just fading out a touch early, grabbing those inside limbs where it just needed some more anhyzer. And so I'm just pitching up for my par here. Unfortunate to get that skip in the thick grass, so not leaving much work left there. Hole 8, just a touch wide and maybe a little bit high. Had good power though, leaving myself long look. Whatever I was standing in here was very spiky, and so even though I wanted to jump putt it, I tried moving as little as possible, not to scratch up my ankles any more than I already had to. Coming back to this defender on this windy day, throwing the spike hyzer. I wish I could have seen it fly a little bit longer there, but did end up tagging those very early branches. And again, a bad backstop there, so trying to run it and end up hitting the band, but ends up carding an easy par. Another bit of a misrelease here with my wraith, keeping it turned over for too long, so having to try pitch up for par. And a high putt just chaining out. Hole 9, we're looking at our first par 4. We had a nice helping tailwind. Trying to give it that true distance line. Aim it out left on a good bit of anhyzer, have it fight out. With that tailwind too. Now trying to throw a pushing hyzer with my Thunderbird, but not liking it out of my hand, leaving it way too wide for my liking. And this is then the long par birdie look, excuse me, trying to float it in that headwind. Just missing that, unfortunately. Hole 10, we're looking at a very stiff headwind now, going back in the direction we just came from. I remember specifically this throw, for whatever reason, coming out of my hands much faster and smoother than all of my previous throws. So actually finding myself in circle 1, and very disappointed with that effort there on the putting green. Hole 11, I'm trying to throw my leopard on a left to right shot. Still not fully knowing the flip point of the disc, and that left to right wind also pushing it further right than I would have wanted. Just didn't trust it out as left as I would have needed to over that OB. And a very poor upshot as well, and putt there with that wind picking up. Hole 12, seeing what I had just done 2 holes prior, I was hoping to do the same with my Wraith, but just not getting over on it at all, seeing as though the fence line on the right was a little bit scary and acting as a little bit of a mental block there. Hole 13, a little bit less wind. Trying to throw this defender over this path on the right, early releasing it and catching that initial guardian tree. So a little bit of a patent pending here, just trying to spin my justice on some Anheuser and have it work its way to the basket. Just use that overstability to help me out there. Hole 14, we're looking at a forehand hyzer here. We're back to the main side, or the starting side of the park. And so very low ceiling. Unfortunately grabbing some of those limbs, so losing some of that distance potential. Trying to give it a half bit again with that berg. Hole 15, a little bit of an awkward shape with how this bush line shapes up early left, but then also right, where it forces a forehand flex shot, but the shape would actually be much better for a backhand if you have that confidence hitting that tight gap, but it does feel like it closes it off a lot more. And then poor upshot there, and can't convert on all my putts, so carding another bogey. Another low ceiling forehand. Touch of an early release here. Finding myself back edge of circle 1. Leaving another putt high. Hole 17, more low ceiling shots. Trying to throw a flex shot with my defender. Seeing as though my mistake has been not giving it enough Anheuser on past holes. This time I gave it enough and it didn't have a chance to fully fight back with the wind holding it there. And yet again trying to give it a chance with my berg. And another unforced error there on the putting green. Hole 18, even though it does say 355 feet, I figured I'd need to throw it really hard. This hole was much shorter than what UDisc says, and I have a very hard time believing the numbers there. Fortunately, ending on one last birdie. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.